Everyone. Welcome to Looped In with Maritza, sponsored by the National Parents Union. Today is Wednesday, October 7th, 2020. Family, 27 more days until Election Day. If you have not registered to vote, please do so. If you have registered to vote, please make sure you follow through and vote. It is extremely important. In the state of Pennsylvania, you have until the 19th. There are many places right now where you can actually walk in the door and register and vote and leave your mail-in ballot. So please get it done. The Census 2020, we're talking about billions of dollars for our communities. Please make sure you do your census. You can do it by phone. You could do it on your computer. You can do it online. Get that done. Billions of dollars are at stake for our communities for much needed resources for the next 10 years. In the city of Philadelphia, this equates to $21,000 per person counted over the next 10 years. There are over 210,000 people that have lost their lives to date due to COVID-19. This is still a very serious health issue. Please do not make light of recent events that have gone on. The current president thinks it's a joke. The current president had access to thousands of dollars worth of medical attention that the normal person would not get. The average person in this country would not get. What he got, only very affluent people have access to. And it's not fair. Make sure you make your vote count. Make sure you affect that change. Thank you. Today, I'm very excited about the show that I'm about to have. I'm going to be bringing out two gentlemen, one that I have known for many, many, many years, the other that I have been blessed to meet, and as a result, am doing more of what I'm doing now, thanks to his encouragement. Allow me to bring my first guest on, Mr. Mason, and he can introduce himself formally, and we can have a nice chat.
Hey, everybody.
Welcome.
Thank you, Marissa.
Please introduce yourself for those that do not know you.
So my name is Winslow Mason. I'm in Philadelphia. I used to be director of advocacy and organizing at Mastery Charter School. So that kind of gives my parent engagement background. I'm also a community organizer and a journalist by trade. So I kind of come with that background. I'm not at Mastery anymore, but I still do a lot of stakeholder engagement. So I have my own nonprofit consulting group, and I do community engagement consulting around that, some of which may involve parent engagement, so we can still talk about that. And in addition, I also do a senior advocacy. So I'm working with seniors around Medicare and healthcare issues. So doing that work currently as well, and happy to be here.
Well, for those of you that were wondering, why is it that I am now much more vocal? Those that have known me for many, many years know that I've always had a lot of mouth, always. But there was one day several years ago when this gentleman introduced himself to me, and he asked me if we could sit down and have a conversation. And after that conversation, that very important one-on-one conversation, um, because of that, I had the courage and the desire to be more vocal, to make my thoughts known, to share my not only my concerns but other parents' concerns in my community. And it's thanks to you. So I'd like you to first, I'd like to thank you for that very much. But I also would like us to talk about how important is parent involvement when it comes to our schools and the education of our children.
Well, that's an easy question. It's an easier question today than it may have been maybe 10, 15 years ago. I think if you look at the current landscape, any engagement right now is critical, whether it's parent engagement, whether it's community engagement, whether it's family engagement. Everybody's involved in the change that needs to happen, not only in our local communities, but also in this country. So, at one level, parent engagement is a sector of engagement that we can have. And I say that because in schools, parents are a critical voice. And so when you think about schools and you think about what's happening in schools, parents have that voice to make change for their students and their children. And that's why it's important. And I think more than that today, because there's so much happening across the country, it's even more important because what happens in schools is also happening in communities. It's also happening across states and across regions. So their involvement is much more impactful today than I think it might even have been maybe 10 years ago. It's always been important, but I think even today it's even much more important given what's going on.
Absolutely. And I'm gonna rely a lot on my mastery experience as a mastery parent. Um, I will never forget all those times when something was coming up, especially at the school district, and there was a need for not just for us to come out in force when it came to areas of concern, but there was also a need for us to come out and tell our stories, because not every story is a sad story. Not every story is a story of frustration. There are some good stories, and I was fortunate enough to be one of those parents that had a good story, because I've had good experiences. My son had what I call a good high school career while he was at Simon Gratz Mastery Charter High School. So, but I did not. It didn't diminish the need of telling the sad stories, the frustrating stories, the angry stories,
Mm-hmm.
and with your help and the help of Miss Shana Terrell when she was at the school back then, it allowed us to be able to speak and then be able to refine a little bit what we wanted to say. Although sometimes the direct way is the best way, but sometimes we needed to just smooth things out just a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
because we didn't want to come across as being too harsh, because a lot of times that goes to deaf ears, and no one wants to hear somebody somebody yell at them or criticize them or even curse at them, because we've
Right.
seen that.
Mm-hmm.
So if we could talk a little bit about how the strength of parents coming out in force affected change when certain things had to happen.
Well, let me say something about what you talked about sharing stories, right? And I was just actually writing a report yesterday about the importance of doing that. So when you think about parent engagement and you think about relationship building, sharing stories becomes a connecting point for people. So when you get up and share your story, hey, I'm Maritza, I'm a parent of two or three, and I'm struggling with this issue. If you have a crowd of, let's say, 30 or 40 people, you're connecting to them. And so sharing your story becomes a strategic move that is intended to build relationships. So, and you'll notice it when after you finish speaking and everybody's walking away, three or four people will come up and say, "Oh, what you said really had an impact on me, and what you said really changed the way I was thinking about something." And right in that moment is when you say, "Hey, I'm so glad to hear that. We're building a coalition, we're building an organization. Would you be interested?" And suddenly that's when you grow. And so, I come from an environment where it's all about building power and building relationships. And so the reason why I'm bringing that sharing story piece up is because I think it's important for people to know that's a strategy on how you build, on how you connect to people. When you share your story, you're inviting people to connect to you. And it just turned out, like you said, you had good stories and that's how you know when you're connecting to people. Because when you share stories that resonate with others, you'll notice that. But also conversely, like you said, when you share stories that don't resonate, that's when you know people are disconnecting from you. And that's how you know that. So, but I wanted to bring that up because I think as we talk about parent engagement, we need to know that sharing stories is actually a strategy toward building power.
It absolutely is. And believe me, I over the years, as a result of working with you as a parent, then eventually working with you as a coworker,
Mm-hmm.
when I was, because one thing a lot of families don't realize, that when you're in these circles, not everyone knows about you directly. They know of you as the parent of said child. Yeah, that's Miss Gertie, that's Elijah's mom, but they don't know about me
Mm-hmm.
or my background or my experiences. And I guess you're the only one that knew, because even after, it's very, I'll mention, I'll share this very quickly. As soon as Elijah graduated, I still was a part of the Gratz community, and I would still go to meetings. And then that is when other members of administrative members of Mastery, were talking to me, and they were like, Miss Gertie, do you have a degree? And Miss Gertie, are you bilingual? And I'm like, yeah. And they didn't know that. You knew that, but
Mm-hmm.
they didn't know that about me. So as they got to know me, I was blessed with the opportunity to then become a member of, the Mastery family as an employee. So I
Mm-hmm.
was coming from two different sides. I was a parent. I had the parent experience, and then I also was an employee. And it was, I love my experience in Camden as a community advocacy manager. I got to do what Winslow did. I got to meet parents and build and help build parent leaders and help organize the parents for important causes, what they thought was important to them to improve their school, their children's school career.
Mm-hmm.
And you were a very big part of that. So I want to thank you for that.
Well, and I appreciate it, but what I can also say is that um, as an organizer, someone who's looking to build power, right? One of the things I'm looking for are leaders, and leaders are people who, and we know this from training. Leaders are people who have a following. That's one, and leaders are people who are connectors. And so, going back to the story piece, when we met and I watched you in the room. I saw how people connected to you. I saw you sharing your story, and I said, "Wow, she has the potential to be a good leader." And so it was from that I said, "Maritza, would you be same thing? Would you be interested in joining our organization and helping us build parents?" And you did, and you went through organizing training. You got a background in this, so that's where it starts. But again, it's also the thing I'm lifting up is the idea of always looking for potential leaders, people who can share their story and resonate with other folks and
Absolutely.
have a following, right?
Absolutely. Because even now, in the role I have now, I am coming across so many parents, and I'm chomping at the bit to be able to talk to them. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm purposely waiting, because everybody's still in a very manic phase right now, dealing with the new method of learning.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm being purposeful, and I'm going to wait a little bit until next month when the decision is made on what's going to happen, and then I'm going to move forward to that. And as those parents call me or come into the office, I'm going to talk to them. I'm going to say, hey, what are your concerns other than the Chromebook, other than the virtual learning? Tell
Right.
me what you need to make it
Mm-hmm.
better for you and your family when it comes to their education. And
Right.
I'm going to rely heavily on all the experience that I gained. Winslow, tell me about Connect the Dots.
So Connected Dots it's an organization that does stakeholder engagement. So I'm new. I'm one of the newest members for Connected Dots, but essentially what Connected Dots and what I'm doing with Connected Dots is helping communities navigate change. So if you think about issues like gentrification, where communities are really struggling with how do we navigate this, how do we manage this, Connected Dots can come in. We're experts at facilitation. We're experts at planning and developing and designing effective meetings. So, people underestimate, if you've ever been to a meeting and you saw it, kind of explode where everybody's screaming and nothing gets done and nothing gets heard and nothing gets accomplished. At Connect the Dots, we're pretty good at designing meetings to affect certain outcomes. So we're actually working on a project now in Lancaster, where there's been a bit of racial conflict. Of course, not just in Lancaster, but across the country. And one of the planning committee chair people asked us to come in and help the committee facilitate community conversations that are intended to address a certain issue around rental properties, but also manage everybody's shifts and changes around race and class and all those things. So we're experts at coming in and doing that, designing those meetings and affecting change. So that's a little bit about what Connect the Dot does. I'm new, so I can't talk too much about it, but I know that's what I'm involved in.
And I know you're gonna do great.
Yeah.
You're gonna do just fine.
Yeah.
If you're okay, I want to bring out my second guest.
Okay.
And I'm going to talk to him a little bit, and then we're going to talk together.
Okay.
Because I think that all three of us will have a nice conversation. Hello, sir. Welcome.
What's happening? What's happening?
Please introduce yourself for those that do not know you.
Well, my name is Sterling Hinton. Everybody know me as Stir the Pearl, and those in my fraternity know me as the Uzi Q. Anyway, that's another story. But born and raised in Passaic, New Jersey, living in Knoxville, Tennessee right now, where I came to college. Came down on a football scholarship, played a couple of years of pro football, got hurt, came back, finished my degree, stayed, got my master's, got a couple other certifications, and also is a part of an esteemed group called Leadership Knoxville, which I have an honor to be a part of.
Aside from that, you're also an actor. You're also an awesome DJ.
Yeah.
Listen, I have to give, I have to give props. I have to talk you up because once again, folks, and yes, you may call me biased family, but listen, yes, he went to Passaic High School, and so did I.
Yeah.
And there are many of us that come out of Passaic, New Jersey, they're doing great things, and I'm so very proud of that. I mean, I talk that up, and I say it all the time. Those that know me, that have worked with me, know that every year for 5 years, every time the alumni football game time was coming around, I was always amped. I always took vacation around that weekend. I said, don't bother me. I'm going up top. I'm taking my cheesesteaks for whoever wants them. I'm going to run into people I haven't seen in years. We're going to go to do it in the park. All that to say that, I'm so happy that you agreed to be on the show. What I want to discuss a little bit with you is, and then we're going to mix it up with Winslow.
Okay.
Tell me how the fact that you were part of an amazing sports program, how that helped change your life when you finished Passaic High School.
Well, I appreciate that question, Maritza, because it's actually an honor to answer it because, I came up in Passaic during the time when football, basketball, and track, we all knew about winning championships. And, thankfully, I can say I've won a state championship in football 3 out of the 4 years I was in high school. And, always made the state tournament in basketball. And we always made the state in track. And, sports and athletics, thanks to the love of our support systems, with Lottie Bell and Miss Barbara and all those guys and Amo Bell, guys that, worked behind the scenes that made it happen for us, they kept us out of trouble's way. We were so dedicated with Coach McCran, Coach Fazio, Coach C, and the Domino brothers. We were dedicated to winning. We worked hard. And because we worked hard, it took time. And when we put that time in, after practice, no matter what sport we were playing, we were going home to go to rest and go to sleep. And, so we didn't, those extracurricular activities or things that make a young man's mind wander, you know, we didn't have time to get involved with that. And I'm thankful because, you know, I was pretty, you know, frisky back then. And I'm one conversation away from a guy who gave me a privilege to work in his store. And we all know Al Martarosa in the Sports Center.
Yes.
You know, hey, whoo, yeah, boy, took care of us. Al took care of us.
The one thing that I remember, because although I love sports, I lived in a football town, even though it was a city, but it was a town because it's small. I had to learn about certain sports or I wouldn't be able to have fun.
Right.
But one thing that I really appreciated and I remembered and I respected, that the coaching staff at the school, they were also teachers.
Yeah.
Coach Simakowicz was a teacher. He was one of my teachers. You know, a lot of the other, there was a history teacher, a math teacher. You know, it wasn't just the sports. So these men really understood and respected the fact that their athletes also had to get an education. They made sure that their athletes were prepared, not just on the field, not just on the court, not just on the track, but also for the classroom.
And if I may interject right there, Maritza, because you know, it's amazing because my year, when I came out of high school in 1986, that was the first year of Proposition 48. Now, that was the first year. So that's when you had to get a 700 on your SAT. You had to have a 2.0 in your core classes to even get a scholarship. Not only you only had to be good enough to get one, you had to have classwork to back that up. And so to echo some of the things you said about our coaches being teachers also, I mean, you know, Mr. Chupa, he still sends me Christmas cards to this day. You know, it was funny. He was my history teacher. And Chup, he you know, I didn't do well on this one test. And it's funny because teammate then Reggie Morrison, you remember Reg, right? Cool walking Reg, you know, who's my offensive guard Wednesday. He protected me out there on that football field. But I did bad on a test. And Mr. Chupa and Coach McCran were real tight. So Coach McCran and Coach Pracco held me as the quarterback to a different level of what I needed to get in class and so on and so forth. And so I didn't do well on this test. So I had no little stuff in my neck as a young teenage boy does, you know. And man, I pass? I ain't going to take that test. Oh, man, forget Troop, man. He tripping. Troop tripping, man. So Mr. Trooper hired that coach and told him that, well, I'm not going to let Sterl play this week. Now, you know, being a young
quarterback couldn't play.
So, you know, make a long story short, Reg grabbed me and, you know, and told Boo Boo Troy Giles, who was our star running back at the time, and made sure I went to Mr. Chupa's class and took that test over. And because, you know, I took the test over, I got a better grade in the class. And believe it or not, you know, I say this, believe it or not, because it's amazing. Getting a better grade in that class for taking that test over made me eligible to get a full athletic scholarship. Because had I gotten that C instead of that B, I would have missed the core need. And so had I not taken that test over, it could have been a little different story to get to where I wanted to be. But I was happy that I was able to get over that first hurdle because class 86 was the first year of Proposition 48. And since then it's been 42 and all these other different ways these athletes have to get eligible to get a scholarship, let alone be good enough to play the sport they want to pursue.
I mean, you mentioning that, I mean, after you know, the ones that came up with me, you know, Mario Moravi, Jason Halls, Larry Gales, smart brothers. You were all the athletes. You had to have a certain grade level or forget about playing sports. For the ladies as well. You know, the ladies basketball team, the ladies volleyball team, the baseball team for the ladies and the men, you know, the soccer team, all those athletics. You know, during that time period, I don't know I'm hoping it's still the same today, but in the time when we were coming up,
you
had to make the grade. You couldn't get on that field.
We had amazing leaders too, though, Maritza.
Yes.
You figure I had the Marshall Grays, the late great Kevin Bryant, the late great Craig Ironhead Haywood, you know, Nate Haywood, late Kenny Dye. You know, we had people to look up to that that paved the way for us. You know, the Tyrone Stoves, you know, Mike Volpe's. I mean, the
Yes.
list is just incredibly long. Mark Stevens, you know, those guys
Yes.
helped us win a pursuit to Keith Norwoods in basketball. The Poontang, Darren Gresham, you know, that's my man. You know,
Oh my gosh,
cats,
all these names.
yeah, you know, it's the crew, you know, you know, we did it. We found a way to make it happen.
So still tell me this, and then and Winslow, you could chime in as well. In this time of COVID, like I had a show previously where it was a music show. So I had some musical guests, I had some producers and some entertainers, and I had them I asked them to help me really explain the importance of, even though during this time of COVID, how extremely important that the arts stay active as much as possible in a safe way. I feel the same way about sports. I feel that sports right now is one of the things that is saving many of our young people, that is keeping them off the streets, just like it did back then. I feel that it should be, you know, in a socially distanced way as much as possible. But with regards to football, Sterling, how can you? It's a contact sport.
Yeah, collision
you know,
sport.
Yeah, you know, so it's nothing that we can't quarantine all the members of the football team for a high school football.
Right.
So, what do you feel about those states that are saying, "Yeah, we're going to do it anyway"?
Well, you know, that's a sticky situation, to be candid about it, because you want to make sure the kids are safe. The game has done so much to promote safety beyond recklessness, and that has kept a lot of athletes playing longer and not dealing with after game issues when you finish playing, what I'm saying. But, you know, it's with the COVID situation, you know, I say leave it up to the choice of the child and the choice of the parents, and let the child play. And they decide to play, you know, it's going to require a level of discipline that none of us had to assume. You know, you have to watch who you're around, watch what you do. You have to constantly wash your hands. All the sanitation situation, you know, you got to deal with that. You know, you're going to sweat, you're going to tackle, you're going to do that thing. So you're doing it not necessarily for yourself, you're doing it for your teammates and other teams that you may play, because, you know, until you get tested, you don't know if you're positive or not. And so you got to do everything you can to prevent that, so no one else gets sick if you are sick. And if everybody takes that attitude, we'll get a lot more sports played than not. It's just that, you know, with this real sticky situation, we've got to be creative to make sure that extra time for especially young people is used wisely. And sports has always proven to be able to do that.
Absolutely. So Winslow, tell me, I'd like your opinion on the show everybody saw over the weekend. The play-by-play, tweet-by-tweet, post-by-post, interrupting football news conference weekend, where the person on Pennsylvania Avenue was letting everybody know it's okay, it's not that bad. I'd like to hear your thoughts on it. And then I want to hear Sterling's thoughts too.
Well, you know, I probably want to be careful, because I don't want to get too political, because, you know, that creates a whole host of things. But I'll go back to something Sterling said about sports and and what's happening in COVID. So I think Sterling's story about how sports kept him out of trouble is critical, because I think that's where a lot of young people are today. In the absence of sports, we're literally leaving it open for more kids to get into trouble. However, I do believe that until there is a safe way to play, and I think the adults have to make the call. So Sterling mentioned leaving it up to parents and children. I think it's still the states and cities and school districts that really should make the call. They would know when the environment is safe for kids to come in, when it's a safe thing to do. So I do think that even though we know it's a critical need, we know kids are needing of sports, we're still trying to figure out, is there a way to do it safely? And I'm not in that position. I'm not head of a school district. I'm not a sports coach. I mean, I know the urgency, I know the anxiety that folks are having, but I just think that there's so much more to consider, and we're going into the fall and the flu season, and so it's a lot to. I'm actually glad I don't have to make those kinds of decisions because it's a lot to consider, and the impacts are not just impacting that individual family, but impacting that school, that team, so the whole nine. So yeah, so that's my way of getting around the political stuff.
I noticed that.
Wait, you see how I did that?
This
No,
is a very good spin.
Correct on that, brother. I appreciate that, Dan. One day, I know he's smooth on the dance floor. That's for sure.
yeah. Well, I mean, because I think, and the reason I do that, I think we all have our opinions on what's going on, and this is just me. I would like this to be a richer conversation around what Sterling's talking about around parent engagement. I certainly wouldn't want people to leave with something they're going to get 10 minutes, 2 seconds after they get off this thing, they're going to get into that. So that's just me.
Right.
I'll accept that. I will, because I'm going to say what I need to say.
Yeah.
Richard, you've been doing that for a long time. Even as a young girl, you was doing that, boo.
Yes, I had. But I like to hear your, thank you. I like to hear your take on it.
Well, my thing is, as far as what people are saying in higher ranks of our political situation and down in, in the Capitol, everybody has their opinion. So it's just that, it's just certain people have the responsibility to watch their words because their words carry so much weight. And as Winslow stated earlier, when he was here, you was asking him questions, as being a leader, you have a following, and when you have a following, it's your responsibility to lead those people in the right direction and understand the power of your words. So sometimes your opinion has to be shaved, if you will, just to, understand the ramifications of what you're saying, positive and negative. So that's my thing. Everybody has their opinion on what's going on. My thing is, I've been touched strongly by this pandemic. I've lost 3 family members. And I lost 25 friends. So it's 25 friends between the Passaic, Patterson, and Newark that we grew up with, Maritza, that are no longer here with us. And I communicated with that, unfortunately, when New Jersey was hit real hard, me being down here in Tennessee, I got tired of getting bad news.
Yeah.
So, so I know this thing is real. I know what's going on. I have a younger cousin who was grown, of course, in her 30s now, but she works at a hospital as an RN and was in that one hospital when they were putting, ice trucks outside because they had no more room in the morgue. So I know how real this thing is, and touched emotionally by my family, and I'm so proud of my cousin. She's right there in the middle of the hard, in the front lines. This thing is, she's making it happen. And Chanel is Bubby's nephew, Maritza. So that's Bubby's niece. I'm sorry, Bubby's my cousin. Yeah. So, and Chanel is and everybody in Passaic knows Miss Jeter. She taught everybody in number 11 school and so on. So that's her daughter. So that's who I'm speaking on. And so Chanel is doing a phenomenal job at the hospital she works at.
Oh my goodness. And that is what the message I want to convey, that I want families to really understand to please take this seriously, not to allow what they're seeing being put out as rhetoric or propaganda to heart. That truly understand that this is real. People are getting sick. Flu season, like Winslow said, is right around the corner. Those of us that happen to have allergies every year, the seasonal stuff, it develops into, me. I'm feeling kind of weird. I'm seeing my doctor next week. But, those things could then manifest into other things. And everybody just needs to stay safe. Just stay safe. Wear your mask. Yes. You can still have fun with your family. You can still have fun with your friends. Hey, it's football season. This is the time of year everybody wants to get together, for Saturday afternoons, Sunday mornings to watch college football. They want to go ahead and get around together for Sunday evening for Sunday night football, Sunday afternoon football, and then there's Monday night football. You can do it. Just make sure everybody's safe. If the same group of people get together, make sure you all get tested. The test is free. And if you're all negative, you'll feel a little bit better being around each other because you know you're all safe. Yeah. Do things outside when it's nice. Everybody want to have their, have their grills out. Do your little tailgate at home. Be safe. Yeah. Just be safe. And that's the message we all want to convey. We want everyone to be safe. Gentlemen, if there is anyone that wants to get in touch with either one of you, how would they do it? How would they reach you? If they like what they heard, if they want to reach out to you, if they want to connect with you, and I'm going to forewarn you that if my peers on the National Parents Union that also have shows, many of them are watching. If they like what they see, they're gonna reach out. Hey, I need Winslow's contact information. I need Sterling's contact information. They're gonna reach out to you.
How do you typically do it? Do you have people just put their number out there or put their email out there, or what
you can share how people can reach you. If you have on your social media platforms, if you have a Twitter, if you have a business only email account, whatever way a person can if someone wants to reach you regarding Connect the Dots, Winslow, if someone has interest in the training that you spoke of as far as the parent engagement organizational training, Sterl, you're a motivational speaker. Yeah. If someone wanted to reach out to you, that kind of information.
Well, I could do it. I could make it easy. I'm transparent, and I tell everybody, I know a lot of people, it's a blessing and a curse, so I live in the blessing because I just can't hide. You can hit me at Sterling L. Hinton, that's HENTON at yahoo.com. That's my email. Or the easiest place to go is my website, which is www.sterlthepearl.com. That's STERLTHEPEARL.com. And it's short for Sterling, Sterl the Pearl. And hit me on my website, leave a message. I'll get back to you within 24 hours.
Wait, I'm laughing because, my name is Winslow, so I don't have like Sterl the Pearl. Like, what am I gonna do with Winslow, right?
Yeah, but see, you got one of them names that sound like a law firm, something. You know what I'm saying? Winslow. Come to Winslow LLP. We'll take it.
All right. So I'll do it this way. So, and I think I mentioned Maritza, I do, we're in that season of, I do a lot of work with seniors in advocacy and insurance and things like that. So I have an organization called the Senior Champs, as well as a website. But if anybody wants to if anybody's interested in anything related to seniors or Medicare or Medicaid, you can reach me at theseniorchamps@gmail.com. That's one. Or if you wanted to just connect with me around either my stakeholder engagement work or my parent engagement work, you can call me at my consulting number, which is 267-328-4692.
Thank you. So we gonna shift a little bit. I want to have some fun, Sterling.
Let's get it in.
I want to have some fun. So for those that do not know, Sterl the Pearl is also a wonderful DJ. And music was a very big part of us coming up in New Jersey, especially what is now considered classic hip hop.
Yeah.
Classic house music.
He was there.
Winslow, I think we've had the music conversation before. Your taste is more towards jazz, right? If I remember.
No, I mean, I really do like house music. House music I like. I'm into jazz. I'm into house music. Certainly into R&B. I'm beyond the rap and all the rap stuff. I'm a little older, so.
You are not that much older than us.
Wait. I'm Anita Baker, Luther Vandross, Nancy Wilson.
Right there with
you. Yeah.
We right there with you.
Yeah.
Look, see, Wendy says Texas too, and Miss Birdie says hello.
So, who's that?
Miss Birdie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so she's watching too.
Okay.
So when it comes to music, I mean, my early days, my mother kept us really sheltered, really, really sheltered. So the only time I really got to really dance out there was during the high school parties at the gym.
Yeah.
I was not one of the kids that was able to go to New York City, just jump on the 190 or go in a friend's car and go to New York real quick, because Winslow in proximity, literally, not even a 40-minute drive can get you in
20.
Manhattan from
Yeah,
look,
20.
yeah, the way you drive probably, yeah, but you know, if you're driving safely, 30 to 40 minutes to get over the bridge or go through the Lincoln Tunnel, and you're in New York.
Mhm.
So, you know, I wasn't one of those children that got a chance to go there or to go to Newark. My mom didn't later. She did. She just did. She was a single mom. She just said, no, you stay in here. But Sterling brings smiles to many faces several times a week, right? You do it like twice a week when you do your live.
I go live usually just you know, once a week, but
Okay.
I did it a couple of times last week because it was cut off.
There you go.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
his show is amazing. It just you just sit back and enjoy, because then you get to reminisce and think about, and you sitting there either chair dancing or you getting up and you start dancing. Which, I mean, I even had my little ones dancing one day. I was playing it. What you doing, mommy? So they dancing there with me, and then everything you playing. I still need some house music, sir. I really do. I need some Jersey
I can
house.
make that happen. That's easy breeze. I can make that happen.
I cannot find Jersey house. I can't find good house music in Philly. I'm sorry. Except for Lady Alma. You know who Lady Alma is, right?
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt,
She's from Philly. So
no
whenever
doubt.
I hear her, I'm in heaven. But music is also a source of enjoyment for many people. It's a source of de-stressing. Whatever kind of genre of music you like, just do it for yourself. I've often told, you know, my viewers here, whatever you do that gives you enjoyment and peace, do it.
Yeah,
You know, even if it's just taking a walk away from people. I mean, I'm a dog owner now. We have a very big, beautiful Cane Corso, and I live in North Philly. Winslow knows my neighborhood.
nah.
I have no worries about my safety because people cross the street when they see her. And she's not even a year old yet. She's a huge puppy. She's outside right now. But you know, whatever you need to do in a safe space, at a socially distanced, just do it. Do whatever makes you happy.
Absolutely.
Gentlemen, any parting words for our families that really enjoy watching the show, our families that are, you know, that have children that are going to school, words of encouragement during this very uneasy time that you can share?
Well, I mean, I think I would just encourage everybody. Obviously, you mentioned it at the top of the show to um, take whatever you're feeling and channel it into action. So if you're angry, of course, you know, vote, make a change. If you're frustrated, get involved, join an organization. I mean, I don't know anybody that's not doing something right now. So no matter what you want to do, there's probably somebody out there already trying to do it or doing it. And so I would certainly just encourage people to just get involved. And if anybody doesn't have anything to get involved in, call me and I'll get you and I'll get you involved. So if you're like, Winslow, I can't find anything. All right, come on, we'll do something together. So yeah, I just think, you heard the phrase, don't talk about it, be about it, right?
Right.
So we can spend time talking and venting and whatever, but what really is important is let's change. Let's make the change happen, because it's not going to happen without somebody igniting it.
Absolutely.
Awesome, awesome. Well, I'm a piggyback off Maritza talking about music. You know, I've done a few things and have been blessed to DJ across the world, and speak across the world, motivational speaking, play football across the world.
Yes.
Held down some executive positions with Warner Brothers before becoming full-time DJ and motivational speaker. But in my opinion, I'm going to quote the OJs, a song that was out in the 70s. They said, "Music is the healing force of the world. It's understood by every man, woman, boy, and girl." That's why they love music, and that's why I love music. That's why I love the DJ. I have the opportunity to put smiles on people's faces. I get the opportunity to give them something to get them forget about their problems, their bills, whatever amount of hours or the amount of pocket of time I have inside those four walls. That's the reason why I DJ. Everybody has their reason. Everybody has their motivation. Mine is that. And everybody's not gonna like me. That's fine. But you're gonna know I'm trying to make you like me. And you can't say I didn't try to make you like me while I'm behind the wheels, trying to give you something to dance to and forget about your problems with that pocket of time. as far as people having something to do, you know, there's no reason why you should never have anything to do. Simply because we have more time on our hands now. There's more information available to us now. And www dot does not mean your room to the living room. It means the entire world. You have access via your phone, tablet, laptop, and you have ways to elevate your knowledge and elevate yourself, your well-being. So we have some troubled time, yes, but I think these troubled times are giving us a reset. I think it's filtering out all the fat and all the pork that's in the system that's just not supposed to be there. And a lot of people have benefited from that. Now it's about to get real. We're talking about keeping it real. Now it's about to get real. What are you really worth? What are you really doing to make yourself worth more? You have the time to do that now. You have access to do that now. Take advantage of it. And don't let a lemon be a lemon. Make some lemonade.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Mr. Mason, my mentor, because you know that's what I call you, right? You're my mentor. I'm like, Winslow's my mentor because he really got, you know, he helped to light that spark.
Well, and as much credit as you give Maritza, what you also know is that it's in you to do this, right? You would, I mean, whether I came along or not, I mean, people are going to gravitate to people who are about change or about doing something positive. And so, you know, I'm glad that I was able to contribute, but by no means do I take off. Like, you know, you were going to do I mean, and without getting too off the track, but, you know, when you have that kind of spirit that's about family and community, and it's something that God has called you to do, you're going to do that. Now, you're going to meet people along the way who will help you get from point A to point B, which is maybe what I did, but it was in your spirit to do. So all that to say, you know, proud of the work that you're doing. Continue to do what you're doing. If I can help, like I'm doing now, I will. And I would say, as someone who always tells me, by no means is your journey done yet. I mean, just think about all the people you haven't met yet.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So
yes.
Yeah, it's coming.
Yes. Well, I appreciate every text, voicemail, email, phone call. Every time I call, you've always answered and responded. So I really appreciate you, sir, so much.
Good.
So very much.
That I can help.
Thank you. Sterl.
What's up, babe?
Yeah, Sterling Pearl with his Hawaiian background. You know, look at my background. It's all plain.
I'm like, you feel it, man. You know, like I said, see, you got to get your mind somewhere. I can virtually get that www. It's getting us there, baby.
Right.
Sterl. Thank you so very much.
Oh, man,
I can honestly say every single person that I have reached out to that comes from my beloved Passaic, New Jersey, has always answered my call, has always said yes to my requests. You know, I had a few that are a little bit, I don't know if they're gun shy. I don't know if they're, you know, hopefully this will encourage them. Yeah, it's not that bad. It's okay for me to get on a Zoom call and talk about things, because I'm not asking scary questions. I'm not asking anyone to embarrass themselves. I'm not going to put anybody on the spot. My purpose is to uplift and encourage and educate and spread the word. I thank you, sir.
It was an honor.
Oh my God.
Always happy to be a part of something from the hometown, and baby, you're doing an awesome job. And when I got the call, trust me, you gave me that text, it was an honor to get. So I knew I was gonna make it fit, and we made it fit, and we here right now. Hey, you even gave me Winslow, the Mason name. I got a bonus today, baby.
Oh my gosh, Sterling, Tennessee is gonna be on my bucket list. I've never been, so when I do plan on going, when it's safe, I'm gonna be traveling all over the place. I'm gonna let you know.
I got you, love. I got you. You let me know. I'm in East Tennessee, but from Knoxville to Memphis, we make it crack. However you want to do.
Oh my goodness,
I got you.
Oh, gentlemen, thank you so much. This is the time for me to say goodbye to you. Please stay safe.
I will. You do the same.
Stay healthy. Please keep on doing what you do. And I'm going to take a few minutes for some parting words for our family. Thank you so much.
Shirley, nice to meet you.
Thank you, Winslow. Pleasure to meet you, brother.
Family, thank you so very much for tuning in today at Looped In with Maritza. Some reminders, please make sure to stay safe. Please make sure you vote. Please make sure you do your census. If if you're interested in the National Parents Union, please go to nationalparentsunion.org. Become a member. We are here for you. If you're from PA, if you're from South Jersey, from Delaware, I don't care where you're from. If you feel you can reach out to me at Maritza at npunion.org. We have a voting campaign going on right now. Every family votes. Your vote is needed. Your vote is necessary. If you go onto the National Parents Union page, their website, the page on Facebook, we have Every Family Votes tab. You can click on there. There is a toolkit. The toolkit is very easy to read and understand. It'll answer many questions, give you a lot of tips and suggestions. It'll give you links to information according to the state that you live in. We have a link for swag. We have Every Family Vote swag. We have a voting pledge contest going on right now. And I'm going to show you something that I just got today. And I'm going to be rocking this. I got my hoodie, y'all. It's hoodie season. So now I got my Every Family Votes hoodie. To my colleagues, don't be jelly. You can get one too. I love mine. I'm going to be wearing mine with pride, with pleasure. And it's definitely a conversation starter. We need your help. We need to make sure that we affect change. I'm not endorsing any particular candidate. Vote your conscience, but just make sure you vote. Many people are not able to vote. Exercise your right to vote. Be that voice for your family and for others. And as always, please be safe. Until next week, thank you very much. Thank you very much to the National Parents Union for allowing me this platform. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon and early evening. Be blessed. Thank you.